Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Sometimes things happen that initially seem really, really annoying, and in fact are, and then as you think it through, you actually think, that was a bit of a blessing, really. Now, I'm pointing the camera at this because I've just put the second coat on my staging. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is the second side. I did the first side at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, as I said, I'm supposed to be going to a funeral today. At 5:30 this morning, the power went off. I was halfway through typing a really, really big comment on somebody else's video, you know, an essay jobby, and the power went off. I thought, I'll blow it. And of course, my laptop has an extension screen which has power. Yeah, obviously the laptop's served by the battery if the power's not plugged in. But anyway, so the screen went off, and without being able to see the screen, I couldn't work out how to switch screens back to the laptop. So I thought, no, I can't use the laptop. Anyway, I eventually twigged that if I unplugged the extension screen, then the laptop would automatically switch back to its own screen, which it did. And my comment was still there, so I finished typing it and hit the send button. I thought, no internet. And then I thought, oh no coffee. No, we can't do that. I'll walk somewhere if I have to. And then I thought, we have a gas cooker. Oh, hang on, you have to press a button and it sparks, and the spark's electric. I have matches. So I've been making coffee out of a saucepan. So most inconvenient, obviously I'm filming this, but I can't do anything with it. You know, I can load it onto the laptop, I can process it, but I certainly can't post it without the internet. So what time of the day this goes up, I don't know. But the little blessing in disguise, I suppose, I did say I really don't want to go to this funeral. Well, now I can't. Why, I hear you say? The power's off. I live behind security gates. The gates won't open. We're all stuck in here. So I was waiting for next door to go to work. He goes to work just after 7, so that I could catch him and ask if his power was out, which it was. And I said, what are we going to do about the gates then? He said there's a manual override, but it is manual. You literally have to push the gates open, but they have to be unlocked first. I'll go and get the key. Came back out with that face that looks long and, oh dear, now we have a serious problem. He can't find the key. So he can't go to work. His missus can't run the kids to school or go to work. And I can't get the car out to go to this funeral. Yay. Little yay. Yeah, so we're stuck in here till either he finds the key or the power comes back on. He's had a text from his electric company. I haven't. And apparently they're hoping to get the power back on between 11 and 12 this morning. That's their estimate. That'll depend on, other stuff, I'm sure. But yeah, no power. You start thinking, I can't have me toast for breakfast. This is not on. I suppose I could hold the bread above the flame on the gas cooker until it goes brown. Coffee I can manage. I can live off of coffee without anything else. I do have things that don't need cooking to eat. I mean, I do have bread. I could have a cheese sandwich for breakfast. There are things I can eat. I'm not going to starve. Not going to starve in half a day anyway, or even half a week for that matter. Yeah, or even half a month if you want to be pedantic, as long as you've got liquid. Yes, so when I get my internet back, we'll be dependent on the power coming back up, and hopefully it's not on too off, because the first thing you think of when the power goes off is your fridge and your freezer. Freezer full of food, you really don't want to lose that, do you? So freezer should be okay for 24 hours if you don't open the door, which I can manage without anything in the freezer. So yeah, it's the first power cut, that I can remember. So years and years ago, round the other house, there was a power cut. Yeah, so no internet. no TV to watch the news, no toast for breakfast. And of course all the gadgets in the grow room are off. You know, the fans, everything. I got no power. Nothing works. It just shows how much we come to depend on electricity. You know, and all the, you know, the things you just take for granted. I went out to the loo just now. Of course, the toilet's got no windows. I walked in the toilet and shut the door. It's like a black hole. And I turned the light on, even though there's no power. It didn't come on. Yeah, so, you know, things like the hot water system should kick in at 7 o'clock for half an hour. Well, that didn't, because obviously there's no power. So you start thinking about, you know, all the things that you rely on. Anyway, as a consequence of not going to the funeral, I will be able to film something orchid related, which I'll add on to the end of this. I might post it separately, it depends what I do. And in addition to that, hopefully, I'll be able to start work on the second lot of staging. I need my workbench to do that, so I need this dry. So that's sort of lunchtime before that's dry enough to move around, you know, and stand up somewhere else out of the way sort of thing. 2 to 4 hours is touch dry, and 3 days to cure, so I'll have to keep it indoors until then in case it rains again. We had a lot of rain yesterday afternoon and on into the night, so we've had a good bit of rain. So I haven't got to water anything outside. You know, when I wouldn't have minded doing it because I've got nothing else to do, I don't need to. Anyway, I'm sure the power will come back on eventually and we'll be up and running again. And I may be able to at least make a start on the second lot of staging, which is totally different to this lot. This is 2 shelves held together by 2 pieces of batten, and they will sit on stacks of bricks. That's that done. The other one has a large piece of timber that's got to be cut in half, and that becomes the legs. And they just, the 2 shelves, identical to these 2, just screw onto the top of the legs. So all I've got to do is drill the holes in the timber, in the shelves, and screw them onto the legs. It's actually going to be a lot easier to put together than this was. And then obviously a couple of coats of stain. So I might even be able to get that done today. We shall see. I can't set the staging up until I've sorted the weeds and everything out in the garden, because otherwise I'll only end up having to keep moving it, and there's no point. You know, I'll keep the staging out of the way until we've got rid of all the grass and the weeds in the cracks on the paving and taken back the edging and made everything look all neat and tidy, and then, you know, we can set the staging up and it can stay where it goes then for a while. So anyway, I will either add something on the end of this, depending on how long my orchid bit for the day is, or it will be a separate video. That's unknown at the moment. Obviously, it's depending on how things go. And, well, I'll either see you later or see you in the next one, as they say. Bye for now.